And welcome back to the top Pauper Player in Pisa 2024. And we are now starting the top 8. So we have Grixis Affinity with Davide Caracciolo, Jessica Ephemerate, Salvatore Attanasio, Affinity Grixis, Giulio Regis, Walls Combo with Efrem Perotti, Gruul Ponza, Andrea Feltrin, Glee Combo, Elia Morgese, Cowgates, Simone Ledda, and finally, and last, another Gruul Ponza with Lorenzo Romano. So, if I remember correctly, we are now gonna see Glee Combo facing Grixis Affinity.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think everyone, both here and at home, they really like to see Glee Combo over the other decks because it's the most recent one, and for that reason, we both like to know which version of Glee Combo is it. And
we really like to see the new cards, the new combo that come up. So
yeah, especially since this first event is the first one, the first biggest one with a Glee Combo getting in the top 8. And if I remember correctly, the Morgese Glee Combo deck is the Golgari one, more focused on the combo rather than on putting more pressure in the mid game with the Gruul Chrysalis, which is also played in Gruul Ponza. So
we can see that the other version, so the Giant version, is at the 13th position. So Andrea Piemonti did well, but not too much.
Basically lost in the win and in.
Yes.
So just a little step out of the top 8. So still a good result. I mean, 7 Swiss round. So it means that getting top 16 is still a good result.
Absolutely.
And, you know, when it comes to Magic the Gathering, often being more lucky than your opponent is part of the game. So I think we are going to start in just a couple seconds.
I think so.
And
it will be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, that's for sure. Especially since neither me or you, Mirko, really know which deck is favorited in this matchup. I mean,
Grixis Affinity has a lot of interactions.
There's no Chrysalis in Golgari, and Chrysalis is especially good against Grixis Affinity.
Yep.
And if Grixis Affinity plays Clan Shaman, well,
it's Ponza against Waltz Combo.
Okay. So that's probably
that's another matchup.
That's another combo matchup. But you know, it is probably more faster. And there's no Clan Shaman, so we are quite happy because there's no artifact land in this specific matchup. If Perotti is playing...
it can be interesting if the Waltz combo starts with Forest and Quirion Ranger.
Yeah, that's for sure. Also, Efrem Perotti was Iger in Swiss, so in the final standings. So it's going to start first in this match, if I remember. Yeah. Feltrini. Okay. Yeah.
It's under. Perotti was 4th.
And Feltrin 5th. So, yeah, it's starting first walls. So,
yeah,
that's a very bad for Ponza, of course.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage. So... we'll see. The matchup, I think that Waltz combo is the natural
you
predator.
Can say that. All right, that's Waltz Cascade, so is...
I can see a Quirion Ranger. I can see a Quirion Ranger. I can see a Quirion Ranger.
You know, Ponza...
It's a nightmare for Ponza, yes. I think so.
Ponza is naturally bad against Waltz, but is less favorited against Waltz Cascade because the gameplay of Waltz Cascade is more similar to Ponza compared to Waltz combo, sometimes at least. And for that reason, if Ponza is maybe sometimes faster, can try to win or have more changes to win against.
Another query range. But is it the art of Lanovarans?
No, Ponza played Arbor Elf, and Wolf's combo
the Arbor
played.
Elf. Yes,
Combo
I didn't
played,
recognize the art.
That's the Lord of the Rings Commander Dex art
Okay,
of Arbor
okay.
Elf.
I'm bad. I'm bad.
Yeah, I see that you don't play, Forest in
Yeah.
your MTG life.
That's a good point. Fair enough.
We have a very slow start for Wolf's combo, and not much relevant start for Ponza, which basically just cycled that.
Yeah.
I still don't remember the name of that 2-mana cantrip that generate Ilderzi token, Malevolent Rabble, maybe?
The Rubble something.
Rabble Master. Yeah.
Rubble Master.
Go. So you're just seeing a mana ramp mirror match, because both of our players are
Malevolent Rumble.
okay.
Thank you, chat.
Both our players are playing a couple of Llanowar Elves every turn.
So this winding way, only one car, pick up only one car, 3 lands, 3 forests. That's bad.
Green Lambas, scry 4, draw 1 card.
Yes, yes. So, but the Overgrown Battlement is a key card in this deck, and he didn't play any X-Bane or Battlement yet.
now.
So the next turn can be a key turn.
Ooh.
That's another new Eldrazi.
We know perhaps if Feltrin is playing Land Denial in the main deck, or is just...
Yeah, we can see through Thermo.
All right. Thermocast in the graveyard.
In the graveyard.
Right? So it is playing the latest Eldrazi Ponza or whatever. Latest group Ponza list with 8 Eldrazi's, or rather 12 Eldrazi, if you consider Malevolent Rabble and Eldrazi.
The chat says rooting for everything beside Ponza, but also Walls. Walls is a good call in a Ponza meta.
In this specific metagame, yeah, for sure.
You can see that actually Ponza, not Ponza, Walls did a really slow start, but he's still winning.
Walls, you mean?
Yes,
like,
Walls.
Okay. Yeah.
He's still winning because it simply can create mana, can continue to draw card, and
yeah, it is faster when it comes to generating mana, and it is also faster in playing their payoffs, their threats. I mean, they have a Boarding Party, Expand Guardian, Boarding Party, Annoyed Altisaur, and Avenging Archer, and also Genocent. So basically the same creatures as Ponza, but instead of having Utopia Sprawl, Wild Growth, and Arbor Elf, they have Overgrowth Battlement and Expand Guardian, which are, of course, much, much better.
So now we did a 4-4-1 with this Leader Stampede. So the Winding Wave was bad, but this Leader Stampede was great. So currently we
are going
start to put a lot of pressure.
More than putting pressure, they are going over with the value train. So
it's incredible how you cannot blow up my land if I have no lands on board.
Quite surprised. All right, so thanks to Tuk Rubble Fort, there's first an Overgrowth Battlement, then X-Wing Guardian, Noyed Altisaur, Cascading Aquarium Ranger.
The third.
But they can't untap anymore with Quirion because they don't have any more lands on the battlefield.
So now Quirion is useless.
Yeah. Well, the third Quirion at least.
The third. So now the next turn will be a key turn. Maybe Waltz combo will be able to win on the spot.
From my point of view, the game is already over, and
I think so.
I
I
mean,
think so.
there's no interaction
Yeah.
for creatures in the main deck of Ponza, since no one is playing any more Scred, and you can't really cast Scred without snow covered lands. You can still do, but you are dealing 0 damage, so
Yeah.
it's probably really bad.
I don't even know if in the sideboard you can play something to deal with all these creatures.
Flame Slash,
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt,
Yeah.
maybe, as I already said to a couple of friends,
Ooh.
there's a Master Removal printed as common in the last Commander Masters or whatever set, which isn't Free Cannonade or Birth Weapon or Growing Sorrow or Arms of Other, Sulphurous Jet. It costs 2 colorless, red, so a
Yeah.
total of amount of 4 mana, instant. It still deal 2 damage to any creature and any player, but if you play it in your main phase as a sorcery speed, you are dealing 3 damage. So
Yeah, the problem is the battlement is 0/4.
okay, but you are still killing everything.
Yeah.
So if you are playing Ponza, rather than dying
Sulphurous
from
Blast. Yes.
rather than dying from this everything, I mean, I can't even count how many creatures are on the battlefield. I don't have enough ends.
And another Altis Hour. And another initiative piece. So,
Yeah, that's a GG.
yes. Too much for this moment.
There's
It's
no moments.
Literally, it's a nightmare for Ponza.
For sure. So what is bringing in Ponza? Because there's not even any reason to seek any more advantage from from the side of Wolf's Combo. I mean, they can bring in some moment space or less disciple, but I don't think that those are enough to.
Yeah, the problem is if the other side, the Wolves combo, put a lot of pressure and a lot of threats, big like that. If you play a fog effect and then one chrysalid to block, it's not enough.
Yeah,
It's not
for
enough,
sure.
and you can come back after initiative.
The
After,
best,
like the last turn was double Altisau, double initiative. It's just too much pressure, even with a moment piece or something like that, because you cannot come back.
Yeah, that's
The turn after is worst. So
that's partially thanks to Rabelfort, because it gives haste to everything. So when you still you are cascading or casting Overgot Battlement into Expand Guardian, into Annoyed Altis, or cascading Overgot Battlement, you are putting a lot of pressure on the battlefield. While the fastest start of Ponza is just turn 1 Arbor Elf, turn 2 Utopia Land, Utopia Sprawl, and that's generating just 4 mana on turn 2, and Walls can't really generate 4 mana on turn 2, but they can generate a lot of more mana starting from turn 3. So even though Ponza can have, hypothetically, a better start in the first 2/3 turns, there's no way for Ponza to generate that much mana as Walls combo can do, and also there's no way for Ponza to have that many creatures on the battlefield in the same limited amount of time as Walls can do. So
that's
kind of hopeless.
Yeah.
But still, probably it is better compared to Walls combo.
Yeah.
The version with Freedom from the Real, Galvanic Alchemist, and
that's
the
for
Invoker.
sure. That's for sure. But I remember that a pro player one time said, the pro player, such as the German Juggernaut, for the one who know, one time says that there are many ways to win in this game, and one is if you are in a bad matchup, you can wish that your opponent draw only lands, or mulligan into 2 times in a row, and you can still win an impossible matchup. So you don't have to be hopeless. You have only to you can have a plan. You can have a plan, so you have to stick that plan in your mind, focus it, be very focused, and try to win that way. So
Well, after all, those players are here to win, so let's give them some hope or some change for them to win.
yeah,
So there's any removal spell that Ponza can bring in to try to not die from walls, or it's just land denial and mass removal for cool Dota? Do we have the deck list, right?
not here. Oh, we will see. We will see.
So it's just so hopeless for you.
But usually they play only cards like Breath Weapon and stuff like that. So it's not easy. It's not easy. But even with 2 or 3 removals, 2 or 3 spot removals from the sideboard, the matchup is not changed that much.
Well, it's much of it depends on how much pressure Ponza is able to put on the battlefield. Because, similar to how Dimir Furies or Dimir Terror can try to steal the game against Ponza, against Ponza or Walls, much of that game it depends on how many removal you are able to play on the right spot, alongside how much fast you are able to be. Especially if you have Boarding Party and Avenging Art, which are the fastest creatures that the Ponza deck is able to play.
Yeah. Which deck made top 8 after this
We have
this match?
We have 2 copies of Grixis Affinity, 1 copy of Jeskai Ephemerate, 2 copies of Ponza,
Yep.
1 was Cascade, 1 a Golgari Glee combo, and 1 Kogate.
Yeah.
So a pretty varied top 8. Nothing strange to see Grixis Affinity and Ponza, since those 2 were among the most played decks. Also, Kogate is nothing weird. I haven't thought having Ponza's most played deck surely did not help. And
so here, both of players, the nut start.
Quite so for for Ponza. I mean, destroying 1 land here doesn't do nothing.
Yes, but
relevant.
it's on turn 3 plus ramp, so the next turn he will be able to try to push with maybe the pirate.
Boarding Party.
The Boarding Party.
Sure. If they have Boarding Party, Cascading Avenging Hunter, the game is still playable.
Yeah.
If they have just Avenging Hunter, it's still kind of bad. If they play Boarding Party and don't Cascade anything relevant, is even worse.
Yes. That's a great point. It can be correct to not side out the Mongolia Acid Moss if you want to ramp, if you have not too much card to put inside from sideboard. This can be a call. This can be a call for Walls combo that there are not too much hate for that.
If you don't have enough cards to deal with your opponent strategy, usually trying to be more straightforward possible is probably the best way to deal with them. Especially since you just pray that your opponent is not finding anything or just their deck brick. So if your deck is able to get better drones than your opponent is able to get from its deck, it's probably just better. So sometimes you are forced to just hope you are more lucky than your opponent. And that's part of the game, even though it's quite sad.
I like how quiet and in a calm way the wall combo player try to take the creature that he found with Lead the Stampede very slowly, very calm.
Yeah, there's not much to worry for him after all, so
Yeah.
he can take his
I was
time.
like, okay,
chill
I'm simply play.
out,
I simply play my card. I'm chilling. I'm winning.
Okay, you destroyed one land. Oh, okay, that's fine. So they just take a
It's
look.
very very easy.
Ponza has 4 lands and 1 enchantment, while
Ponza, the
Walls-
Ponza player is quite fast.
it's like, oh, okay, I'm playing Ponza, so my deck is Fiat Panda. My opponent is playing a Wolves combo, so it's a Ferrari.
Yes, yes, yes. In this kind of matchup, that's for sure. So
No
initiative
interaction.
can be good, but the problem is that the opponent is going to steal
The opponent is going to attack with their General Scent.
at least.
They attack with General Scent, and they can give Vigilance to the General Scent because they have a Cure Ranger. So
Yes, maybe a boarding party. Maybe he's top decking a boarding party. We will see.
And if they have an Avenging Hunter in hand, they don't have a need to attack to steal the initiative. In reality, I think that it's better to attack here because at least you are forcing a charm block.
Yeah.
So Arboreth charm block in General Sense, or just taking the damage if you maybe have another Avenging Hunter in hand. And then after doing that, okay, there's a Invoker, Red Invoker.
You can try to kill the Mana Dork and
That's a good idea, yeah, actually.
I think so.
Because,
It's another Quirion Ranger.
So you can steal the initiative, forcing the opponent to not block. And then if you steal the initiative, the opponent just can't steal it back
Yeah,
because you have a General Scent.
yeah.
Easy.
So kill the Mana Dork and
Shower for
now
Elf.
he can attack with one Quirion Ranger and it's not too much bad to lose one Quirion Ranger in this spot. It's like quite irrelevant.
Yeah, it's quite irrelevant because you are already very well placed in this game.
Yeah.
But after all, there's not even any reason to attack with the Curon because I think that the Ponza players doesn't really want to lose the Avenging Hunter to keep the initiative.
Yeah.
So you are losing one creature to get one basic forest. You can untap your General Saint in your turn, in the opponent turn with Quirion Ranger to block, but doesn't really matter. I think.
One huge problem of this stream is that both players are playing with spare forest with different layouts. So this is really blow-minding for me.
Also, no one is playing with white bordered lands, which is very bad because it is difficult to not be confused by those permanents are very similar. No, I'm joking, in reality. Which is just me that usually play with the white border lands because it is easier to find them when you shuffle your deck or you draw a card. It's just aesthetic.
Yes, now we are technically we are waiting for another Manador, another big Manador for Walls combo to close the game. It's just he is missing to one Axebane or another Overgrown Battlement to be able to do a lot of damage with the Valakut Invoker, and I think that's all.
Because he lost the second Quirion Ranger by attacking with it. How much mana can he generate?
So 1, 2, 3, 4,
So
4, 8.
8 wall, 8
by
defenders.
wall. Yeah.
So you can tap for 8, 10, 12.
Yeah.
And that's not enough to generate.
You can do only 3 damage currently.
Yep. So
And I think that he has only land in hand.
That's the worst case scenario for walls.
Yeah.
And probably the only way for Ponza to win this game.
So pay 6 mana,
Altisar.
7 mana, Altisar,
Cascading.
a simple
Eldrazi.
3/3 plus Eldrazi Spawn.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, that Eldrazi generate an Eldrazi spawn token, both when it enters on the battlefield and when it leaves the battlefield.
When you cast and when
I
you
see.
die.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ponzi is attacking with Avenging Hunter because
Because he's big.
Well,
He's really
that's
big.
right.
He's a 7/6 with trample.
and Walls can't really steal it back. But I'm not sure if it is the right choice to attack here because Walls can just tap for 8 mana and deal 3 damage with the Invoker and then Chain Block with the Generous End. So it is still able to kill the Avenging Hunter even without untapping with Cure Ranger.
This
So-
is true, but if you don't try to push,
it is probably forced to push the damage on the battlefield. But
you have to
because,
try at least.
But because maybe Walls isn't really interested in chain blocking
He's
And-
paying 8 mana to 3 damage on face.
seems like so. Mhm. Well, he can still get back 3 lives with the food generated from Generous Ant. And he draw another land, seems like. And I wonder what they may have in hand because we are not able to see what Walls Cascade has in hand. And it is quite
So-
surprising.
Yeah, because we were speaking about the chilling of Waltz combo, but it's like 2 or 3 turns that he is not making any threats. So he's drawing very poorly, and this can be the plan that we were speaking about before. You have to wish you have still the hope that your opponent draw very poorly, or mulligan into nowhere, or do stuff like that. That's a real point. That's a real point.
All right, so seems like this turn
Wow.
Walls draw Queer Ranger and Reaping the Graves.
Reaping the graves.
I wasn't expecting Reaping the Graves in this matchup. I mean, you don't really need to return your creatures while your opponent doesn't really have any removal spells. They can just try to trade them with the combat step.
So another Quirion. That's okay, but it doesn't change too much.
Okay, now you have 3 copies of Queer Ranger on the battlefield.
But only 2 land currently.
And another Generous Ant.
Another generous ant. Yeah. Plus 2 food token. That is like 6 mana. So
Also surprising that the tribal forest deck is playing some forest folk.
now my problem is the different layout of that forest. Respect the other. It's a huge problem for me.
Well, they asked me to build and land a Wolf's Cascade deck, but I don't have enough basic forest, black bordered at home. So with the same frame, with the same art, so it was forced, similarly to the Wolf's Defender player, to play to build the deck with forest with a different art. I guess that's the similar thing to what did Perotti in this case.
Yes. So the Ponza player forced to use the true Quirion on the same turn with true Ponza effect. And on the other side, he's trying to activate the Valakut Invoker. And I think gain some life.
I don't know. I mean,
I think only gain some life.
tapped
Or
and
deal-
tapped,
Will deal 3
Return
damage somewhere.
returned back free forest, Worried board state for sure. Okay, it's
Okay, 3
going.
damage on face.
I
Again.
see. It is going face with the Balakut Invoker, so
Yeah.
you think that it can't deal damage. It can't steal back the initiative, and Ponza did not attack, so it is trying to steal the game with the
Yes.
double generous hand, alongside going face with Lightning Bolt Man.
The lightning bolt man, it's an insane definition.
Well, you know, it's red, it deals 3 damage to any target.
You need to sing on the notes of Rocket Man of Elton.
Rocket man.
Rocket Man.
So he is still is still under a wall, literally under a wall, and try to continue to do only one bolt on face every turn. So that's the plan.
Oh, that's an initiative ultimate.
Yes, yes. So now we have to see if the trample amount of strength will be enough.
How many forests do have walls on the battlefield? 0, right?
0.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3 walls, the battlefield. So you can generate 6 mana by tapping and tapping with a Hero Ranger, the Overgot Battlement, and then also have 2 copies of Surly Caretaker.
Yeah.
Ooh. Is it forcing the opponent to charm block because defenders walls has only 8 lives left,
Yeah.
and they can't really steal back the initiative. And we
I don't
are
think
not
so.
at the point of the game where it may matter having the change to steal the initiative. It is still clear that okay, they're sacrificing a food token here.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh wait, there's also the Walls of Root that can generate mana. So they have
Yeah.
4 defender creatures, so they can generate 8 mana by tapping and untapping the Overworld Battlement. If they draw another wall, that's 5, 10, and only 12 with the Ceruli Caretaker, so it's still not enough.
Yeah.
Surprising enough, if this game can give some changes to Ponza to win, and if I'm not wrong, this is mostly due to Walls attacking with Queer Ranger to steal the initiative. Even though, you know, Walls didn't really draw well enough in
Yeah.
the game, so. But
Yeah, the point is, if the Waltz combo players was
was a bit
more
greedy.
skilled on draw the right card in the right moment.
I see. was a bit greedy, and then it got even a bit unlucky.
Because you have to think that only another big mana dork could be enough to win the game on the spot.
Yeah, but
So-
you also needed to give it haste because
Yeah.
you have only
I
4
was
lives.
thinking about 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 turn before. So
Okay. Well, anyway, in reality, I think that the game is still open for Walls because there's only 1 creature with trample on the Ponza side, so
Yeah.
on the Ponza board. So there's also a Couple's Generous Ant that survived that previous attack. So
Yes.
it can eventually double block the Avenging Hunter. So
Generous Ant is one of the biggest threats on the Pauper scene. So
well, if you are playing green, yes,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. But also in general, I think.
Well, there's Solomon's Crusher.
Yeah.
Of Miracle. a big chunky bogle with ancestral mask.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But
That's
you
for
know,
sure.
all that glister costs bene, quindi so
So the opponent is at 3.
it is attacking. Yeah. Even the Overgrowth Battlement is attacking.
Tasking good palla, realistically.
So now he is killing the Valakut Invoker.
What is happening here? Okay, so
He's trying to steal the initiative, but the point is, you will make
why you are taking with Valakut Invoker? Okay.
take initiative. Make I think
What is happening here?
I don't know. We will see. We will see.
Um,
For sure, Perotti has a plan.
I hope so.
So maybe true counter on Aquarian. I
He
don't
can't
know.
untap without a forest on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's
but
for
he
sure.
can generate 2 green mana because he has a Wall of Roots and doubles Record Taker.
Yeah.
He can get back 3 lives with the food token,
I think he is
but
deciding. Okay, true counter on the Cyruli. Okay. You want to win with the last
Anger of the-
last room, the third room.
okay, so that's
Of
force
initiative.
from initiative.
So I think the idea is if I can steal the initiative the turn after, I can simply do 5 damage and win the game. Okay, he has only to touch the opponent. That's the plan.
The thing is, I'm bad with combat phase, but I don't really understand why he decided to attack here. I mean, it probably had more changes to win by not attacking and waiting 1 turn to deal extra damage with Valakut Invoker. Or maybe I'm wrong. I mean,
He has attacking with all, with everything. So you can take only 3 damage, so you have to block the Chrysalid and put at least 7 toughness on front of the
also, there's
initiative pieces.
there's not many reasons to block with the Cerulean Caretaker over the Walls of Roots.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So
Okay. So you have to block on.
you also have to
no.
block with the Order Cerulean, the free creature. You know,
And now you are
There's
taking true
trample.
damage,
taking 2 damage, go down to 2 lives.
but he can
Okay, there's a moment
gain-
space, likely.
moment piece
Or
or
food token.
simply a food token. So
All right. So going up to 7 life.
yeah, the opponent is searching for a land because he, yeah. The point is, Waltz combo cannot die in this turn, and the turn after, the opponent is able to ping 1 damage and go to the third room that is trap that deal
Okay.
5 damage. So, but it's enough to ping 1 damage.
Yeah,
it's
just
enough to
attack,
just touch your opponent and steal the initiative and do whatever you want.
That was for sure a weird game. I mean, it went in a way that I wasn't expecting.
Yes.
Really, you can say a winning way.
Nice. So this was the top 8 of this top Pauper player. So we have to see what will be the other deck that will win. So the top 4 as at least we have a guy that will discover this information for us. So that currently disappeared. But so Waltz combo was for sure a good call in this meta. For sure a good
Yeah.
call.
So the metagame at the top Pauper player was Ponza as the most played deck, followed up by Colgate, Grixis Affinity,
We have one copy of Colgate on top 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
and Rakdos Madness. Surprising enough, there's no Rakdos Madness in the top 8.
Yeah. Maybe
Well,
the interaction with Sneaky Snacker was not enough.
Yeah, for sure. But also, out of more than 100 players, there were only 9 players with Rakdos Madness, so it is really surprising. Also, from a point of view, Rakdos Madness isn't really great as a deck right now. It can be quite hard for Grixis Affinity and also Colgate, but compared to Kuldota,
Yeah.
it is probably worse against decks like Walls Combo, Ponza, and maybe even a Grixis Affinity. I mean,
Yeah, I think so.
Madness spell are good, but Madness was played mostly to be a better burn deck against blue-based decks like Furries or Sky Ephemerate.
Yeah,
or
but
whatever.
I mean, not against Colgate, because if you give time to Colgate to set up the game and find a Sacred Cat or an Outlaw Medic that is the new card, the new addition to the deck, Colgate is able to recover every game, especially if you are a Barn deck. So maybe this was one of the reason this deck didn't do well.
Yeah, probably. Also, seems just like the power level of Madness isn't on par with decks like Grixis Affinity, Ponza, Walls Combo, but Colgate is just Sacred Cat plus Basilisk Gate.
Yes.
It's a good combo against any Lightning Bolt deck.
So no surprise to not see any Tron
Alter
deck, Alter Tron,
Top eight.
Flickertron, and Familiar. So this was the meta, and so we will take a short break, and we will be back with the top 4 of this top Pauper player of the year of 2024. So stay tuned and be back soon.